you in
We go.
business.
All right. Now you
Yay!
back in the cut. Okay. All
I'm
right.
back in the kids,
Okay.
you guys. All right, all right. Hey, y'all. So we're gonna get into our relationship segment of the show, and I'm kind of gonna be more doing some Q&A with my co-host here, Mr. Julius Fogo, and we're gonna be talking about relationships. And the first question that I wanted to
Hold on.
talk about that
Can
I
I say?
read.
I hate to cut you short.
Okay, come on.
We did get the advertisement stuff on, but
Uh-huh.
I still got
Oh
always.
yes, you definitely got to
You
do
gotta
that.
get the last round. This is my first book. I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on a book right now called Black Love. Why do we fight like this? And it's a great read.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a copy up on Amazon. If you see me in these Houston streets, make sure you
You better
hit me
get
up
you
because I always
one.
97% of the times I have copies on me in my
Right.
either on my person or in my vehicle. So I don't have no problem running out to my truck.
And it's actually
To
a
go.
good read too. I'm not just saying
Everybody,
that because you're my
everybody has
co-host,
told me
but
that. Yeah.
I actually like it. You know, I got it to support you,
I
and then
really
I was at
appreciate
the
that.
airport. You know,
And
what
you
I'm saying?
really read it?
I'm like, I'm about to pull out my bros book and
I
read
really-
into it, and I learned a lot
wow.
about your history and your family background and stuff
Cause
like that.
a lot. I'm being real with you. Sometimes, a lot of times, people will they'll support you. They'll buy your
Mhm.
book, but then they ain't gonna
Just
really
sit it on the
read
shelf.
it.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
gonna sit it
it's
down.
a collector's item. They might
Right.
give it to their son, or daughter, some shit like that. But when
Right.
and I can usually tell, and I actually what's this? I gave it to a comedian one time,
Mhm.
and I thought that was like, you know, he actually read it because
Yeah.
the reason I could tell is because he told me that it was a good read, but near the end, he can tell that I started rushing. I said,
Mm.
wow, now that's some deep
Wow.
ass shit because I actually got to that point mentally. I said to
Okay.
myself, because a lot of times when you get ready to try to do something you've never done, or
Mhm.
you heard people say you ain't gonna do no shit like that. That negative behavior or
Mhm.
that type of language. For me to hear him say that, I was like, damn, no, he really did because
Right.
I really did get to a point where I started thinking, you know what, I'm probably not gonna do this either.
Mhm.
But then, and I stopped writing for like 3 or 4 months, and then something hit me one day. I was like, this is basically what I said. Fuck this shit, And then
Yeah.
it just once that drive, and see that's one thing is motivation is one thing,
Mhm.
drive is something else.
It is.
When you got that drive,
Right.
you ain't gonna be denied,
Yeah.
and that's when that happened.
Mm-hmm. It kicked
And then,
in and
yeah.
was like, let me go ahead. But
Yeah,
he's saying
and
at the
I-
end you kind of rushed it compared to where you were writing.
Yes.
I got it.
And I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, do don't go by what somebody else tells you to do. Because if you do what they do, they tell you to do, and then you're not doing what you feel in your heart you should be
It's
doing,
not genuine.
you're
It's
gonna
not
have
gonna-
resentment
yeah.
if it doesn't work
Yeah.
out for you.
Most definitely.
And then, at least if you gave your all into that one thing, whatever it
Mhm.
was, then and the problem is, it's not a problem, but what happens is when you put your all in one thing, you'll find some other things about yourself that you didn't know before that. So you gain something else from that.
Let's go ahead and
I'm
get
sorry,
let's
I
go
just
ahead
got
and
to
get the
rambling.
phone
I'm
number
sorry.
out because we do
Let's
want
get it
folks to
out.
call in and join us with this conversation. Okay, you can hit us up either on our lives if you have any question or comments. But we would like for you to call, get on the internet, get on the radio station, let people hear your voice. Your
Yes.
black voice, white voice, Chinese, whatever voice you got needs to be heard. So call us at 713-575-9607 if you have a question or comment during our last segment here before we end for the night. And can we jump right into it? Are you ready?
I'm ready. I stay
you?
ready.
You stay
I stay
ready?
ready so I don't have to get ready.
Yeah, I seen this online when I was reading. I don't know if I was on Black America Web or what I was looking at, but it was talking about marriage, couple, and blended families. And then as it went on to blended families, it started talking about blended traditions as, people get married. You come from different backgrounds, and what they're doing now is incorporating each other's tradition in the marriage. And some people are saying, I think that's disrespectful. Like, no, that's not how we do it. And then you have some people are like, well, they came together and made something happen. They think that it's beautiful. So, what I want to know and what I'm going to ask my co-host here is, what do you feel? How do you feel about blended traditions when you're marrying someone with a different religious background, different race, belief, whatever that may be, and it comes to your ceremony and that person has, they might want to jump over the broom, another person might want to break the glass, light a candle, whatever that tradition is. Do you feel like tradition should remain the same, or do you feel that it's always room for things to grow, improvement, or should not be broken? I don't know. Let's ask my co-host here. How do you feel about that?
The way
Your
I
point
feel-
of view. I don't want to say your
My
feelings.
perspective
Yes.
is, whatever you feel you need to do, or whatever you adopt or accept,
Mhm.
that's what it is. I ain't gonna tell you shit about that,
Mhm.
because if especially if something that you think or you believe, because
Mhm.
we can't prove none of that shit.
Hmm.
So I don't have to. That doesn't even. That's a conversation that with me is not going to be something. Now, if you want to take it further than that with me, we can go there.
Mhm.
But just be ready to deal with everything I'm going to present, and
Mhm.
whatever you come
So
up
are you
with.
willing to accept, like, when you decide you want to marry that woman, and what if you're Christian and she's Muslim,
If you get to that point,
Uh-huh.
that's what it is.
That's what it is. So if
But-
she decided
but
to have a
under-
Muslim wedding, would you feel comfortable with that, or?
I can't speak for that because that's not me. But
Mhm.
however you feel is how you feel. Now,
So you wouldn't,
It's what you do.
like, if you had a Muslim wife, would you have a Muslim wedding if that's something she wanted?
And I wasn't Muslim.
Right.
And I was
How would
Christian.
you feel about that?
I can't really answer because I'm not a Christian.
Okay. So
Or
okay.
if-
So if you're not claim anything, like, would that bother you, or do you feel kind of like maybe it's overrated, or do you feel like it's traditions that
Well,
can be broken?
Because
or?
I don't follow any religion. None of
Mhm.
that's gonna bother me because I understand it.
Okay.
I understand whatever you say that you are. I
Mhm.
understand. I can look at that and say,
You
okay, I can
understand
see
it.
that. So
Okay.
the only time you get mad about something is because you don't understand.
There you go. Say it again, Dr. Fogel.
You like, how in the hell would this 64-year-old motherfucker say some shit like that's why you get mad.
Yeah.
And then even when you look at your kids sometimes, you see some of the dumb shit they do.
Like, who
And
you
we
telling?
forget some of the dumb shit that we did.
Who you telling?
And
Oh,
that's
I
all
forgot.
it is. I mean, when I really sit down and try to tap tune, into self,
Mhm.
and I start thinking about some of the ways that I thought, some of the
Ooh.
shit that I did, I'm like,
Ooh,
damn,
I don't even
was
tell
a
my kids
dumb-
half the shit
I
I
was
did.
a dumb motherfucker.
I don't
And-
want them to
and-
know.
and-
They might
and-
think
and
it's
this is-
okay.
And if you're not saying this here, then you're doing something wrong. I'm for real. Because you should want your kids to have more information and knowledge than what you had.
Right.
My daughter, I ain't gonna lie, she is way more advanced from a psychological perspective as far as
Mhm.
knowledge and awareness than I was at the same age. Now I
Well,
know
these
now
millennials,
they say
special.
women develop faster than men. I can understand because I understand the nature. You gone?
No, keep on. I'll be
Oh,
right back.
goddamn. So, all right, we're here. It's just me and y'all. Who said something? Nasir, the right brethren stay ready, so don't have to get ready. That's it, brother. I got you. But it's a lot of shit going on, man, and we gotta.
See how quick that was? Wonder Woman.
I don't know how the hell you did that shit, but I'm not gonna ask either.
You ain't supposed to ask no
I
questions.
don't know what the hell
I
you
tell
did.
you, no lies,
Damn.
Estee.
Okay. So, let me shut the hell up. But anyway,
Oh.
yeah, but it is what it is. And I just basically want people to be, you have to have a level of peace.
Uh-huh.
That's what it really boils down to.
Uh-huh.
I asked this question one day to somebody. I'm not gonna say who it was, but I asked them, what is the one thing? This is a fellow that I was talking to, a male. What is the one thing that's gonna make any woman hard to deal with, hard to get along with? Do you got an answer for that question?
But you said you asked a fella.
But I'm gonna
Right.
ask you that. I want to see what you're gonna say.
But I am a woman, so
Okay.
you mean?
So I've asked fellas, but I want to hear what you have to say. I'm sure the answer's gonna be a little bit different, but
So what would
Okay.
make it difficult for a woman?
what will make a woman, if you're a guy and
Mhm.
you're trying to talk, I'm trying to talk to you.
Okay.
What's the one thing, if it's present, it's gonna always make this woman a hard woman to get along with?
It's gonna make her hard to get along
Yes, it's one thing. If that shit, if we bring this element in here, it's gonna be consistently the same
with? Well, I
shit.
think if she has some past trauma that she hasn't dealt with, I feel like that's gonna make it hard to deal with anyone, whether man or woman. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
haven't dealt with self first, and you try to get into a relationship that could be toxic or has some toxicity in it, or you could be the toxic person. If you haven't healed from whatever it is that you're hurting from, or any trauma, you bring that to the next relationship, whether you think you're over it or not.
That is a
You
good
know what I'm
answer.
saying?
I didn't know you was gonna. I didn't know you was gonna say that. I didn't know you.
Oh, you didn't.
I mean,
Look at the
maybe-
camera over here,
and
'cause folks gonna be
maybe-
playing on my
and
intelligence,
maybe I
y'all.
assume that, but that's a damn good answer.
Because
If
sometimes
you
you
have-
feel like
if
you're
you-
healed from things and you
If
think
you
it's
have
okay.
resentment, if you have resentment
Ooh.
about some shit that happened in the past,
Mhm.
this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You're gonna become defensive about
Yes.
that situation.
Yes.
So now you're gonna navigate a little bit differently.
Right.
Like if I keep hitting, if I'm a boxer, I keep getting hit with a jab in my damn forehead. I'm like, you know what? I need to move my head over here.
Change it
over
up.
here,
You better
or-
change
or
it up.
Raise his hand up high. I gotta make
Uh-huh.
a change.
Yes.
So that's what it is. It makes a
Mhm.
lot of sense. You have to change. You have to understand what it is you're dealing
You
with.
have to understand who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for like different experiences that I had, good, bad, ugly, all of the above. And it
Because-
made me
because
the
you-
character of who
One
I
more
am
thing.
it made me who I am today. But it also makes me be like open minded when it comes to relationships, to try to understand a person and not just judge every relationship that I have. Every man that I meet ain't gonna be a dog. Every man that I meet ain't gonna be a cheater. Every man that I meet ain't gonna be a bum and not have a job. Like any past traumas that I have in relationships,
But
I
they
don't
might
like
be.
to carry.
But they might be.
But I gotta find out first. I
Yeah,
can't just
okay, yeah.
put that judgment on a person
Yes.
because
You have
of
to
my
start-
past trauma.
Every relationship has to be a new thing.
A new
You
thing.
can't pin on the new motherfuckers, some
Right.
shit that the other three motherfuckers did.
Exactly.
And that's what you hear a lot of times. And I don't care how good you think you are of doing that. Wow.
Well, you know, we could be good pretenders. You know, we
we
good.
say that shit, but you know when he show, this is what it's usually is going to come down to.
Mhm.
When he shows me that he's worthy of this and all this,
Mhm.
so that means I got to do A. And now, if I really understand what A, B, C, D, and E is,
Uh-huh.
I can do that to
Yes.
fool you.
You right.
You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
So once I understand what you perceive to be what it is,
Mm-hmm.
I can run that game on you because you can say, well, he did A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah.
And that's the whole
Then he
manipulation.
gonna fall
But
off and
once-
show his true character.
And that's why in any relationship where there's some manipulation going on,
Mm.
you're gonna have some problems. And see, even with Steve Harvey with that book talking, see,
Right, manipulation is a mug, man.
he
It's a- ooh.
see this is what Steve Harvey did in that book. He gave women empowerment, the 90-day rule. So that means that your sexual organ
He wrote it, but we've been doing that.
is worth more than us. It's worth than ours is. When in reality,
Should be the same.
we are the shortage. It's less of us than the y'all is. And then when
Uh-huh.
you start checking off everything off your checklist, got a job, got a college degree,
Right,
got
right.
fuck you, eat pussy good.
Right.
You know, by the time now you ain't got that much left. After you, the only one you probably gonna have left is Jesus. You know, so and that's what it happens. That's what happens right now. And this is why if you go on social media, you go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, you see certain language to any male that's black that looks at it,
Mhm.
it's gonna look like offense. Like this woman is gonna be a hard woman to deal with because of of the post. See, we draw a lot of energy to us. If you've
Yeah.
been single by yourself for 14 years, and then you saying that all of these motherfuckers is doing, then at 14 years, either that's what it is, or there's something about you.
Or you might be choosing the wrong type of guys.
That-
You know what I'm
but
saying?
that's some-
Sometimes,
but
we
that's
have
something-
a,
But that's something about
and
you.
I know that I'm like, I'm attracted to a certain type of guy.
That's
like,
something
you know
about
what
you.
I'm saying? The way he might look, his statue,
Yeah.
his background, what I've dealt with in the past. Like, some people, guys I noticed that kind of look like my dad. Like, damn, they look like
And
my
that's
dad
why
when he
you
was younger.
gravitate to them probably.
And maybe I gravitate that, but that might not be the character that I want to gravitate to, if you
And
know
the
what I
cycle
mean.
repeats itself.
And it goes over
That's
until
what's
you make
going
that
on, that's going-
change. You know what I'm
Until-
saying? So do I need to change
You
what I'm attracted to?
no.
Because maybe what I'm attracted to is toxic for me, is not good for me, or what I am attracted to, I haven't found that right. Or should I change up? Maybe I might need a guy that don't have the gold teeth and
There-
6'2". You know, maybe I need a guy that's maybe a little shorter and ain't got bare face.
You know
I
the
mean,
answer
what the
is?
fuck?
You know what the answer is?
No, sir. Can you help me out, sir?
None of that's just the right answer.
Okay.
The answer is whatever works for you.
Mhm.
That's what you have to be involved with. All this shit that's written, you can write all this shit down on paper. I need this.
Mhm.
He checks out on all this other shit. That don't mean shit if y'all are not at peace. If y'all are
Yeah.
at peace and it's a special place when you
You have
can
peace.
really get to.
Yeah.
And if you are still complaining about stuff like that, then
Mhm.
it's not peace there.
Mhm.
Now, no situation gonna be perfect, but still, it's a certain
Like
level
you said, peace
where yes,
is
it has to,
ooh.
the percentage has to be higher in that area
Mhm.
for that relationship to flourish positively. If it's
Okay.
not over,
Do you think that you can
Whatever
be in
it
a
is.
relationship to where one person has peace and the other one doesn't?
that's not a relationship. That's a dictatorship.
Where that person feels like you're giving them everything that they wants and needs and all that, but then you're being neglected because you're trying to make sure that person
Somebody's
has
gonna
peace.
be happy and somebody's not gonna be
Yeah.
happy. That's not a
Yeah.
relationship.
Mhm.
That's something that, okay, yes, I'm benefiting from overwhelmingly because of the situation, and that's
Mhm.
what it is. And
To me, then you think that's part of manipulation
honestly,
too?
honestly, the nature of the human being, we
Mhm.
want that.
Right.
We want somebody to love us more than we love them.
That's
And
what we say.
we can lie and say that shit
Yeah,
all day,
yeah.
but I want to be 50-50.
No.
Yeah, shut your ass up. You know,
Yeah.
we really want somebody to love you more, because then that relieves you a little bit. If it's 52-48,
Yep. I
51,
totally
49.
agree with
so
that.
it's just, see, when you look at
Love me a little more than I love
When
you.
you- when
That's
you
what my
look at-
mama told
that's
me.
what it
Make
is.
sure he like you a little more than you
yeah,
like him.
and I've heard that shit
You've heard
too.
that too?
Yes, and when you look
Shoot.
at things
And
psychologically,
peace is everything. A peace of mind. But to me, I feel like peace first starts within oneself.
that's
You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
have to
got it,
have
you got it.
peace within yourself before you can expect somebody else to add to that peace. I don't want to have
Or-
peace to myself
Or change
and then
that piece.
get into a relationship and my peace is taken away.
You gonna fuck that other person's piece up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you coming in my relationship and taking away my peace. You're supposed to be adding to it. Now you coming over here making my nerves and shit bad. I'm going through your damn phone and we on each other's
Going
social
through
media
phone.
talking shit. No, you know how relationships get when people get messy and they get
But you ain't gotta go
toxic
through no
and
damn phone.
you know what I'm saying? We checking each other's text
Oh,
messages
shit.
and
It's done now.
you know what I'm saying? It's
It's
too
already
much.
done.
Yeah, it's too much going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
When-
I
once
don't
you
want to
feel-
be like that. I don't
once
want to
you-
be on edge
yeah.
all the time with somebody I call myself I love, but then I don't trust you.
Once you feel you got to go through a phone, it's already fucked up.
Yeah.
Once you
But it
feel-
happens. To me, I feel like with a
look,
woman,
I understand it.
we
I
gonna
understand
test
it.
you. We gonna go through that phone.
Because
It don't have to even be
but that's
fucked up.
trauma.
I just think it's
that's
like
trauma.
you said, past trauma. It's a thing
That's
that you're used to
trauma.
doing in other relationships. Let me go through his phone.
And then you say, then you
me see
come
who's
up with other
texting
shit like
him.
you weak if you don't do that. If he don't,
Yeah.
the man is he ain't he ain't shit if he don't let you do this. So
Right.
it's all we can rationalize it all the way. But once you get to that point where you gotta do that and you think you got to try to manipulate what somebody does by
Mhm.
doing this or doing that, then
That's right.
that's not the person for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got a question for you, Fogle, since we're talking about that. Amen. Hello, sis. Oh, my sister's always online support me. I love you. Mwah. Question for the men, and I'm gonna ask my co-host here. Why do men cheat? Do they have to have a reason to do it? I just, I want to know. I want to know your personal opinion. I know you can't speak for everybody,
but I can give you 1,000 different reasons.
Mhm.
There's a lot of different reasons. But the biggest reason, if I had to put it down on one, is because they are searching for something that they're not getting where they're at. Something is not being triggered.
You think a man can be greedy?
Yes, of course he can be greedy, but that's not the majority of motherfuckers. If a motherfucking man's at peace, I can tell you this for fact.
Mm-hmm.
When you at peace, you for one, there's levels to shit where you might not chase it, where you be a little weaker if it's thrown on you.
Right.
It's a lot of different levels to this shit, and depending on who you are and what you are accessible to, dictates the chances that you get.
Right.
Some
So if you're accessible to a lot of women, or women throw
they just throwing themselves at you like this, and you got to choose to do. I mean, damn. And this is why a lot of times women understand. Well, damn, this motherfucker plays in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm gonna really trip.
But at the end of the day, it's an actual choice, isn't it? You have
It's
to
always
decide
a choice.
if that's something that you want to do right, wrong, or indifferent, or because a lot of times I kind of feel like men cheat because it's convenient, it's there.
But think about this here too. That's a positive move for a woman, because if you say you're making $55,000 a year, you marry somebody in the NBA, they making at least 6 digits, 7 digits. You ain't gonna lose shit if the shit don't work out.
No. Shit, you can't never lose nothing that you never had,
let's
baby.
not act like we.
If you ain't never had it, you ain't gonna miss it.
Let's not act like money does not come into play when we talk about certain shit, and because that happens, and as far as females, if they've been in situations where they've been hurt in the past, they're gonna if they don't share that shit, they come into this new relationship thinking about shit that the last person did, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna be so defensive. It's kind of like a boxer that's very defensive.
Everything relates to boxing, guys.
She's offensive now. So now it's a little too much, and it looks like to the average guy looking at it, oh, this is a problem right here. She is damaged. Damaged. That's one of the references that Kevin Samuels said. I understand. I don't think he meant it to really hurt somebody, but he's trying to show some things to open up some eyes about certain things happening. And the thing that's really befuddling to me is that the women called into his show.
Of course.
So if they disagree with what he's saying, that's his perspective. It's no different than if you said, you know what, these motherfucking niggas, whatever, they ain't doing blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's your experiences with them.
Your point
and that's
of
what
view.
you're talking about. That's his perspective on it. I don't agree with how he's doing it, because I don't, some of the shit I do think was how he addressed it could have been a lot better. But if he would have came a little softer, would it worked? It probably wouldn't, because they ain't trying, whoever it is that had that much beef with what he said, because.
So next question, why do women cheat? Why do you think women cheat? I can help you.
The same reason.
I can answer that.
Something's missing.
I think when women cheat, it has to be like a conscious decision. Like, we have to write the shit down on the calendar and tell you what date and time we're gonna do it.
That's not the reason.
We have a reason for it, though.
Well,
that's what I'm
reason?
saying. I'm telling you, like, it's premeditated. Cheating with women is premeditated unless you just
what's the reason?
It could be a various of reasons, like you were
what's
saying
one of
about the guy. It could be because he
Something's
cheated,
missing.
so now you want to cheat, or revenge cheating, or he's not, like you said, giving you something that you feel like you need.
That's the reason.
Anything. I don't think that it
Something
can always
is
be
missing.
that. No, something don't have to be missing.
Okay,
You
so
can be
okay,
selfish.
well, give me another reason.
People are
Okay,
selfish.
we said okay two. So selfish
Yeah.
and something is missing.
I don't even think that
Give me
sometimes
another
things
reason.
are missing. People just cheat because it's convenient.
No, it's not convenient.
Yes,
It's
it
just that-
is.
okay.
It's there.
Okay, well, give me another reason.
And you ain't shit.
See,
Like
that's,
I said, it's a
That's
thousand.
the whole thing
Yeah,
right
if
there.
it's there and you ain't shit, you're gonna go for the bait. If you weak minded.
Okay. And people are weak-minded because of situations they've been in, what they are going through.
Well, if you present it to them, you got some fine piece in the front of you, spread eagle,
Okay,
and you weak as pond water,
that's
you
what
gonna go for a
happens.
swim.
Yes, especially if
You
you
know what I'm
feel it.
saying?
If you okay,
You
that's
gonna
what
go
and
for a
it's-
swim,
it
but I feel
happens.
like when it comes to women, we premeditate because men, y'all can do a one night stand.
We created
You know what I'm
differently.
saying? We are created
That's what
differently.
people don't understand.
And I
do
feel like
this.
it's more emotional when
Once
we
you-
cheat because it's planned, plotted, it's premeditated.
That
It's
don't
like an
change it,
episode
but it
of
is though.
Deadly Women. You hear me?
Yeah, I
Shoot.
understand it. And look. I mean, it's quite obvious that men ain't doing it by themselves because there's more women
Hello.
in this country than
Hell, it
than
takes
men.
two to tango,
So,
right? We know
so
that.
we know that, this is why women are on other women's ass. You know, I've been in the mall before and walked by and see a chick with her man, fine chick walk by, and she looking at this motherfucker in his head like this right. I'm like, well,
Right.
damn, if you notice that ass, wouldn't make you think?
That he
So he
didn't
done got
know
gay
that,
now
right.
because he talking to you now. You know.
You wrong.
I mean, I'm just saying, like he don't like his brain,
Right.
his eyesight did not
Yeah.
see that big ass.
Same thing you just seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
To
you
me,
saw-
it's a difference of looking, and then there's a difference of being just straight
Yeah,
up disrespectful
yeah,
with the shit.
disrespectful.
If your mouth open up and your eyes bunk
Yeah.
out like goddamn
Yeah.
Looney Tune character,
And then you say, hey,
nigga,
hey, get some popcorn. I'll
you
be
know
right
what?
back.
I got something for you since you want to be out
That's,
here
yeah,
all
we do all
buck-eyed.
that shit, yeah.
You know, to me, it's about respect. You gotta, if there's no respect in a relationship, then it's pretty much a wrap. Like at the end of the day,
so that's the problem.
you gotta
right there.
respect me, and I'ma respect you. Ooh, excuse me.
But
You know what I'm
if there's
saying?
no respect, that's not gonna be the first situation that arises where the respect issue.
Oh no, that's just an
so
example
that
of
damages
disrespect.
that relationship already is.
Yeah, that's just
We-
an
when we-
example.
When we get to that
I
point,
expect a
when-
man, a
when y'all
natural,
get- when
born,
y'all get to that-
biological
yeah,
man to
by
look.
the time y'all get to that point, there's already been issues already that's been illuminated already.
Mhm. Yeah. Unless you got eyes God gave you, I expect you to use them eyeballs to see. But if I'm sitting there with you and we out eating and then you like this, shit, damn.
Yeah, you know.
You-
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, got a heart on and shit.
Man, what? Oh, that's yeah. God, now that's really bad. That's bad. Yeah, we gonna have a goddamn problem. Me, you know, cause I'm possessive
that-
about
but that
mine.
was
I
a-
don't play.
But what, if that happens, like I said, there were problems before
yeah,
that shit
yeah.
happened. See, when the shit blows up,
Mhm.
that's the shit on the surface.
Mhm.
There was already pressure pushing up on the volcano before that shit went
Mhm.
boom.
Yeah.
See,
before it just
so
gone
now
and
we
exploded.
talk about the boom, but what was causing the pressure to rise?
Right.
We don't want to look at that a lot
Right.
of times.
That'll be a lot. Ooh, a lot going on.
Oh,
in
there's
there.
both people adding to that. It
Oh,
ain't
yeah.
it ain't just one person adding to that.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's
so,
awful.
You
Okay.
had something. What did you have there that you wanted to
Oh man. Okay.
to discuss?
I
with
got
people?
I got a question I want to ask. Okay, the
Tune
phone
in,
number.
call us.
Y'all can
Oh,
call
yeah.
in. This
Call
is
the number.
This is a question. Please call in. We want to hear what your perspective is on it. It's 713 575 9607. Okay, this is the question. How long should you wait to get in a new relationship after ending one?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Before y'all call, well, y'all can call in, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask my host,
You want to ask me how
co-host
long?
that question. Is it different? Is it a
Ooh.
difference? And also, is there a difference between men and women on
Mhm.
on how long you wait?
Well, you know that'll come into traditions and religions and stuff like that about how long you wait.
Not
But
with me, you don't.
I feel like personally, it really depends on you and where you're at. Like after a breakup, I know we do a lot of rebounds. Bitches be lonely and shit like that. Like, what's up with you when you jump in because you want to have somebody there in the bed laying next to you? Doesn't necessarily mean that you want to jump in a relationship. But I feel like if you feel like you're healed from the past relationship and you're ready to take something on new, that there's not really a time or a date stamp on that. I think it varies on the individual person. I can't say, oh, I'm gonna wait 90 days after this breakup, or I'm gonna wait a year. What if you meet somebody in 7 months? You know what I'm saying? And y'all hit it off right then, and boom, next thing you know, you talking about marriage. You know, what if you meet somebody the same week you and the guy broke up and you have a connection with that person? It's really kind of hard to say. I wouldn't put a date stamp on it, but I would look at myself and say, okay, am I healed from this past relationship if I had any experienced trauma in it, or there was anything damaging done, you know, in that relationship? Am I over it? Am I working on it? You know what I'm saying? Before I just decided I want to jump head on into something else. Like, I've never really just jumped into relationships. I like to be people's friends first and get to know them, whether I'm in or out of a relationship, because I think that's, you know, that's very important to me, is to have that friendship first. So, you know, what you think about it? What you think? That part, sis?
Well,
Healed.
I'm looking at my
That's
cousin.
right.
My cousin, she said women cheat because they're unhappy. That's why men cheat.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Oh, yeah.
if something's missing,
Mhm.
if something is missing that you think you should have, you're not gonna be happy about it. So
Well,
that's
does
that's
something
the
necessarily
definition.
have to be missing?
Lacking, or I mean, we can come up with a bunch of
I
words.
don't always think something misses. I just
Okay,
think
you
people
thinking
do
that.
it because they can.
Everybody can.
You do it not because something's missing though. You're saying like something's lacking at
Most of,
home. Like
I'm saying what
there's
I'm
a
saying.
reason. I don't think
what-
there always has to be a
No,
reason
it's
for
not
someone
always.
to cheat.
What I'm saying is not always,
Yeah.
but for the most.
Because you could be attracted to someone and be like,
Yeah.
damn, I want to sleep with
But
them.
for the most part, because of how we are wired in this society and how we think, you know, if you're married, you're cheating, and this is bad, and also that
Mhm.
those are the dilemmas that we deal with and the pressure that's put on us.
Mhm.
But I can understand what you're saying, because somebody could say, well, we're not supposed to be married and doing, you know, this anyway. This is some shit that
Mhm.
man created.
Mhm.
I got that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, for the most part, when somebody cheats, if they have made a decision in their mind that I want to be with you, and they cheat, is because there's something missing. That's usually what it is.
Mhm.
Something is lacking.
Mhm.
Something. It don't mean that you're not doing what you think is everything.
That's the
you
own
think is right.
personal feeling.
But
I
what
got
you are feeling might not be
Okay.
what he is
I
feeling or
got
she
you.
is
So
feeling.
it's a personal
and
decision.
yes,
You know that Okay,
it's
I got
always
you.
self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now we can say you just fucked up and that's why you cheated. Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you want to do that, then they don't have no voice, because you've already made that why they did it, and you told them why they've done it. So they don't have no voice. So what can they say once you've already made that the reality?
What was the next question you had?
That was one of them. Shit, let's see. I got one. How long? Well, that's the question that we was on though.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna add to that.
Mhm. So that was after a breakup.
Yeah.
Should we wait?
But there's no certain amount of time. The real issue is, and you kind of embarked on that a little bit. The thing is, they have to be past that relationship.
Mhm.
If they have not made peace with that, if they look at that relationship as a mistake, a
Mhm.
wrongdoing, or some sort of
Mhm.
that, they're gonna harbor resentment about
Yep.
that relationship. So now when you come along and you're talking to this person, now
Deal with
they're
all that baggage.
there's a little bit more defensive in their
Yeah.
posture. You know, if you hit them with a couple of jabs over here, they already got that shit blocked.
Yeah.
That shit is blocked.
Right.
They ready to counter. So
Yeah.
so now they're not in their normal being now.
Mhm.
So, you know, when a man is looking for, you know, a woman looks for a man for strength and masculinity.
Mhm.
A man is looking for the opposite.
Mhm.
So now, because you're so defensive, it almost comes across as offensive.
Mm.
And we identify, you know, we pay attention to things, especially if we are interested in you, and when we see it, that's how it comes across.
Mhm.
You don't know what you look like to a male. You have an idea in your mind
Mhm.
how you are, but you don't know the energy that you give off. And when certain things have gone on and you have not made peace with certain things, your energy is going to be reflective of that, and we're going to pick up on it.
I think that a male who's dealt with yes, no,
A guy's going to pick up on it too.
I think a man who's been heartbroken,
He's going to be
or
damaged.
he's
Just like a
he's
female
more.
is.
I feel like they're more damaged than women when we go through those heartbreak. I feel like they carry the resentment deeper. I don't know why I feel like that. 'Cause I guess because I've dealt with a man that's been in a bad relationship and was done wrong, and I never dealt with that before. I never, because usually it's the guy that did something to the girl or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's usually the opposite. But when a man gets done wrong by a woman, it's almost like he has this resentment towards women. Like he still wants to be with a woman, but I feel like he still harbors that anger.
Well,
Like,
that's what women do.
you know what I'm saying? I feel like
They love us, but still they gonna talk some.
Love
They
to
gonna
hate
say
you.
some fucked up. These no good ass.
A man's scorn is worse than a woman's scorn.
I wouldn't say that. No, I'm not gonna put.
In my opinion, because y'all do not play. When y'all get hurt and done wrong, you talking about having a guard up. You talking about putting
Yes.
a woman through the ringer.
But we just see. This is what you're. See,
But
we
men
gotta,
don't deal with y'all past traumas. Like y'all don't
we
get a lot
deal-
of. Y'all don't go to therapy
Yes,
and get the help that
because
y'all
of
need
the
to have after
conditions.
something like that.
Yeah, so we deal with things differently than
Right.
what y'all do because it's different how y'all do it. Y'all say we take it worse, or it's not that we take it worse because women take it worse too. It's just that women act on it a little differently. Where a guy usually might just say, you know what, I'm just gone, and I might try to squash this feeling by just let me go to a strip club or whatever they do. Women deal with it differently. It's just coping mechanisms. And of course, if you're a woman, you're probably gonna like your coping mechanisms better than what his would be. And that's we just have to understand that we're not gonna see things the same way.
Right.
I can look at that damn sign right there, you can look at it, but the background is going to be different. Your angle is going to be different. You're going to see more of that wall over there. I'm going to see more of this wall over here. We're not going to see the same thing, and that's the big thing. We try a lot of times to get the other person. We think we can get them to see things the way we see them.
Exactly. And
That's
you can't
not,
do that.
You can't, and I hear people say, "Well, you got to mold something." No, you don't.
Right.
That's your kids. You do. If you still trying to mold somebody and you 20 years old, 21, that's because that mindset has been engraved in your brain. Now you think you're gonna have to mold a man to be what you.
Right.
If you think you got that much power, you are tooting your horn loud as a
Jesus,
motherfucker.
the Lord has
But
come.
if you're tooting your horn that loud, you're gonna be somebody having a problem. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be with that. You're not gonna be that woman that's in a happy relationship with somebody that her girlfriends are seeing like, man, damn, that is how I wanna do it. You're not gonna be that person. You're gonna be somebody that got a bunch of other shit to say.
Right. So what is it with men? Like, why don't y'all seek the same type of therapy or counseling? Like when y'all go through these traumas, the same traumas that women go through.
Because
Why do men try to heal themselves or feel like they can get over it, but they're harboring this resentment for years? You know what I'm saying? You talk about a relationship that was years ago, and you're still talking about it and bringing it up because you still have that hurt that you never healed. Like,
well, let me break it down. We can say men. We can just say black people as a whole look at mental health differently than most nationalities do. We're the least involved when it comes to that.
Right.
I've even had some of us say that's that white folk shit, the psychologists. I'm like, what the hell about thinking is in the human brain is white, that's not black.
Right.
But I can't have that conversation with them. I just let them. I just leave that because that conversation ain't going nowhere. But the reason because a lot of times it's looked at as weakness. And even as a not just even black man or white man, just boys, it's looked at as a weakness to cry or show emotion in certain areas.
Right.
Because that's the pressure that society puts on being a boy or a young man or a man.
Right. Did
So,
you tell your dad and your brothers that you love them?
Yeah.
You say I love you.
Yeah.
Cause I notice like in some families, like men,
It's
they
needed
don't.
more now than ever because of
Yes.
everything that's going on.
Like, why is it so hard for a man to tell another
Because of the
man that they
pressure.
love them, though?
Because of the pressure. It's a lot of pressure not being. Who's calling me? That's my cousin. I have to call him back later.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Mhm.
There's so much extra pressure that's put on us to be this or be that,
Mhm.
that sometimes you can be blinded about what's right in front of you.
Right. Right. And to me, I feel love is universal. It shouldn't be like a sex or mother or daughter or daughter son or. I mean, if you love someone, you just love them.
Well, you said a key word, should.
Yeah.
I really don't try to use that word too much because basically it's opinion. It's what you
No,
think.
but if you love someone, you should be
that
able to
it
express
wrong-
it out your mouth
should.
like, I
Yeah,
love you.
okay. But it doesn't mean
What's
it's
wrong with
doesn't-
that?
Nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean what you said is factual. Should is just what you think should happen. Right?
I'm talking about love.
Yeah,
not the
love.
word
If
should.
you love somebody, then you should do A, B, C, D, E, D, whatever
I
it
think
is.
you should express that emotion to a person because it
Okay.
seems like we don't express that enough in the black
agree.
community until we at the funeral.
I agree with
And
you.
then we fall out. Oh, I love them, and
There's
they
a-
did
there's
this
a-
for me.
Well,
and
if you're looking at things, and that's what my book I'm working on now is working on,
Mhm.
we have a higher level of hatred amongst
Each
in our
other,
community.
ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, tell me another genre of music where artists are dying, like East Coast, West Coast beef. You don't have country white singers and Hispanic, where's that going on?
Mhm.
You know, we done lost Biggie, Tupac, it was a rapper from Dallas on the freeway that got killed. I mean,
Mo3, yeah.
Memphis. I mean, it's going on continuous. You don't see this happening anywhere else.
Yeah.
So there's a
Where's
it's
the
different.
love?
and-
Where is the
yeah,
love?
and this is just my feeling on this. If we loved each other more, enough,
Mhm.
this stuff wouldn't be still going
You're
on.
right,
So
you're
it's
right.
some serious hatred.
But
that's
we
going
have
on.
to love ourselves first, and I feel like that's the biggest issue.
That's it.
Self-love is the best love, and you can't love anyone else until you can look in the mirror and accept yourself for who you are. Love yourself.
But that's not a coincidence.
You know what I'm
why
saying?
A lot of us think like that because this is something that's structured into a
Mhm.
system that we are a product of.
Yeah.
And but I ain't gonna go into. I can go if
You
I
gotta
get it
have
on that.
self-love.
We're gonna be on for 3 hours. So
We don't want to be on for 3
that's
hours.
A long show.
They have to book a session with you,
Yes,
a private
yes,
session,
yes,
and then they can
we
go
can
ahead and go on with that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, Steve Harvey said that in his book, you should wait 90 days when you're dating before you jump in the sack with somebody. You should hold off on the little Nicky cranny before you just jump in there and give up that penny. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like there should be like a grace
no.
period when it comes to
I want to hear what you're gonna
getting
say
in,
first.
getting
before
it in,
I'm
and
gonna let
getting it
you-
in?
I want you to answer
Well-
first on this before I dive. in.
You know, I really feel like it's circumstantial situations because you can say, "Oh, I want to wait 90 days and hold up to that and be good." You might not be dating nobody. Hell, you're gonna make it 90 days. But say if you with someone and you're dating and you're talking about this 90-day rule, and
Uh-huh.
before you know it, y'all vibing, y'all feeling each other, and things is getting hot and heated, and that 90 day done went out the door, baby. Like, it's only been 18, and you ready to get it in, like. So, I don't know about the grace period and the rule time. I feel like each is own. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hold off and wait, you can hold off and wait 90 days and then give him some and then find out he ain't shit. You waited 90 days for this bullshit? This is all you got? I be pissed off. Like, goddamn, I could have gave my shit somewhere else 80 days ago. Fucking with you. So, I don't know. You know, people have one night stands. People wait till marriage. You know, it can vary from one night to some years or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Me, I'm going with the vibes. However I'm feeling at the time. You know what I'm saying? I might have in my mind I'm gonna wait 90 days and then a couple of tequila shots later. It's meant to be 90 minutes. You better get your ass over here. You know, so to each his own. My co-hosting ran out, so I get a little quality time with y'all without him rudely interrupting me talking and carrying on, because you know he gets real excited and stuff sometimes. So, but anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Like I said, if you want to download the TuneIn app, that's the TuneIn app on your phone. You can listen to all the internet radio stations on that TuneIn app. You can just look us up at under Texas101jams.com and then look for the Soul Therapy segment. And you can also find us on our YouTube podcast that we're like slowly but surely getting going here. Matter of fact, let me turn this camera off because it's been recording for some minutes now.